Hello everyone, Mr. Yard here. I just wanted to check in with you guys before you start your rough copies of your short stories. So I've been commenting on a lot of your story plans, and if you have not finished your story plan, please do that first before you do your rough copies. It's really going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to make it a lot easier if you can start to collect ideas about some of the things that are going to happen in your story. If you could do that first in your story plan, it's going to make writing your rough copies so much easier. Okay? So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you finish your story plan first. Okay? And some of the comments I've made on your story plans involve details. So I wanted to talk a little bit about details and description before you start your rough copies. So especially when it comes to explaining some of the characters and some of the setting in your story, I want to kind of challenge you and make you think a little bit more about putting details in your story and how that will make your story more interesting for the reader. And I wanted to work with a little example that I was thinking of here. So if I'm writing a story about a person called Stacy, and I have the sentence, Stacy woke up in her bed. If we're thinking about the visualization that happens with that, if we're thinking about what the movie in the reader's mind is going to look like, there's not a lot of detail. I don't know anything about what the bed looks like. I don't know what Stacy looks like. So what we might do to make it more interesting for the reader and for there to be more visualization happening for the reader is maybe adding more description. So something we could say is Stacy woke up in her, and I'm going to put here, even if I just add one word, if I add tiny bed, then already that gives more information. Then I can see, I'm imagining a tiny bed. What does that tell me about Stacy? Is she a rich person? Is she a poor person? What do you guys think? What extra details could that add, right? So thinking about what details kind of make your story richer. If my character is, for example, poor, or I'm thinking poor with that idea of tiny bed, then that extra little detail of where her bed is tiny, it makes the story more interesting. It kind of brings it together, right? Or I could use a different word. Stacy woke up in her enormous bed. Then that again really changes the idea. Stacy woke up in her enormous bed. Why does Stacy have an enormous bed? Why is her bed huge? So thinking about all those kinds of things and how they can bring things together, okay? The other thing I wanted to talk about too, just really quickly, is trying to make sure that those details are relevant to the story. So when I say adding detail, maybe I'm not adding detail on everything. Right? Maybe I'm not describing every single thing in Stacy's bedroom. I'm not going to talk about the color of her closet doors or the color of her carpet. I can add some details, but I'm not going to add a ton of details for everything because it kind of slows the story down if I start talking about Stacy woke up in her bedroom and she looked at her purple curtains and the blue carpet and she looked at her night table that had a little lamp with a picture of a dinosaur on it. Right? We start to get lost in the details and they're not as important. Right? So if we can just pick a few of those important details that are really kind of tying our story together, it's going to make our stories a lot richer. Okay? So that's my challenge to you guys, is to really be thinking about descriptions, thinking about good descriptive words, right? Avoiding things like good and nice, right? Because those words don't really add a lot of richness. Think about really good descriptive words, okay? And think about details that add things to your story, right? That bring important parts of your story. If you know something about, for example, your character's personality or what your character does, what are important things, right? If Stacy is, for example, if she is an athlete, what does her body look like? Is she very muscular, right? That could be important. All those little things are coming together in your story so that the reader can really see the picture of the story, the visualization in their heads, okay? Really looking forward to your guys' stories. I'm really excited with the story plans I've seen so far. There's some really cool story ideas, so I'm really excited to see what the rough copies look like, okay? If you have any questions, please let me know, right? I don't want you guys to get started on something and then have to go back and do it again because you haven't followed the right steps. So really importantly, make sure you have your story plans done first and then get into your rough drafts. Okay? Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video.